Alright, this is the way in which we go about building out the Subsplash Notes for the weekly sermon notes used in the Crosswater Subsplash app. This document, Subsplash Notes training and process, goes along with the video. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to have an open internet browser. We're going to open up Word, which we have open here with this document. We're also going to open up, aside from the training notes, we're also going to open up the actual current week's note that we're going to work in here. And we're also going to open up a Crosswater Notes template code. These three documents, you'll use this one as your guide. You can print it out and work through it. This one you'll need to have open on your browser. This is the training notes template, as well as the current week's information. From there, what we'll do is click on the Subsplash Notes link here in the template code, or go to notes.subsplash.com, which that brings up your dashboard. You want to log in. You should have been invited by someone, and you should have a password and a login. Once you're logged into you'll see all the past notes for the past sermons and the collection and or the series that they're in. So we're here in the third series. We're going to do the fourth message for September the 8th. You can do these ahead of time and schedule them to be released, or for review prior to that. So I send it out to everybody to let them review it before Sunday, preferably, so that we can correct any errors or anything else that needs to be corrected. But you can create the page. So we want to create a page, which will create the one. We already have one in play right now. Today's the 29th of August. We've already got September 1st has been published. So now we're going to work on the one for September 8th, which is this one here. It's fourth in this series of Staying Strong When Challenged. So what you want to do is have this open. I work off two monitors, so I'm going to move this off screen to the other screen. And the other thing is I want to have the notes template. Effectively what you're going to have, and this tells you want to click on the gear in the upper right hand corner of the sermon notes window, which is this gear in the upper right corner. And you're going to fill out the title, the subtitle, the collection, which is the message series Dr. Jack, as well as the link back to the author is we take them back to crosswaterchurch.net/about. So that's what you're going to put into the information here. So we've got a new sermon note set up. We're going to click on the gear. The new page is the title of the message. So all I did was just take the information from here on the notes. This one is going to be the subtitle I've already got in there with the fourth message. Collection is the Staying Strong. The author is Jack Millwood, and about us and say. So now we're going to go back to the current week, and all I do is just Control A to select the whole thing and Control C to copy it to the clipboard. Come back over to the dashboard for the current week, and right up here in the upper left hand corner, which this is the display window, the preview window, and this is your working window. And so all we're going to do is just paste this plain text. We paste it all in, and it shows over here. Now we have to modify the working document so that it reflects how we want to see it up on the screen, or on the app, At the very top, since we're at the bottom of it, so what you want to go is back to your template, which is this document we have here, the code, and scroll down. This is what goes to the top, this is what goes to the bottom. So what we want to do is take this bottom information, copy it, Control C, paste it to the clipboard, and down at the very bottom. Alright, so we're at the bottom of the document, and right at the very bottom, the very last line, we want to control, once again, right click, and I'm going to paste as plain text. This is the code we have in. So we scroll the live preview to the bottom. What we just put in was this filigree, the Crosswater logo, the comment, as well as the copyright, which is what we see right in this information on the left hand side. Then we want to slide the slider all the way to the top. So we're at the very top again. So if we scroll this all the way to the top. So this is what we're seeing. So typically what you have is the message is actually this one. Hedonism is a pleasure. So that's the very top one. So Control X to cut it, and we'll put it at the very top. Control V and enter. And this is actually the fourth message in the series, right? So this would be this. What the #4 means that it's actually a header. So we're gonna actually put that, take that out and copy or select the message title and go over here to header and make it a heading. Then this becomes bolded, so it's a B. If we select it, Control X, Control V, enter. If you go back over to the template code, it's saying here's how it should look. So you should have a #, a message. We highlight this Jack and bold it, highlight the date, and italicize it. Then what you're looking at is you want to have a little bit of separation. So what we're going to do is take this piece of code from the template code, center figure, image, and the break. Control C, Control C. We're going to put it right underneath the date, right there. And Control V to paste it back. So you get the filigree and you get the spacing. Then what happens is with every Bible verse in this set of notes, it works the same way with all the way through the whole list of them. You highlight the entire Bible verse, including the notation, and then you, up here it says where it says quote. Once you highlight it, you go quote, it drops it into the quote. Then you come back and take out the Bible verse notation, Control X after you highlight it, and drop it in the reference, Control V to paste it back in, and you insert it. And as you see, this puts a bracket and a citation and closes the citation. What you see is on the screen over on this side. If you want to look at how this is how it's going to look on a phone. If you drag it on in to the phone width, this is pretty much how a phone width is, if you will. So we slide it on out. So we have two windows. So what you do is the very same thing on every Bible verse down through the entire list of the lesson. So highlight it, quote it, cut out the verse itself, Control X after selecting it, and Control V to paste it back in as a reference and insert. You get it broken down this way. So you do is walk down through the entire series the same way. Every Bible verse. Highlight it, quote it, cut out the verse itself by highlighting it, highlighting the verse, notation, Control X to copy it, reference, Control V to paste it back in and insert it. So you get the same thing here. So it's the same way all the way down the entire sermon notes, set of sermon notes. Highlight it, quote it, cut it, Control X, select, Control V to paste it, insert it. Ecclesiastes. Highlight it, quote it, cut it, V to paste and insert. And now we want to basically take a look at putting in the fill-ins since we've done all of the Bible verses. And so now we're at the bottom of the page. So if we scroll down, we're back to this part where, so see, avoid destructive pleasures is highlighted, enjoy balanced living, and how long, and remember. So part of what we do here is you want to scroll back to the very top, and we basically do the fill-ins. So the fill-ins are, as you need the actual document over here. So if we're back to the dangers, you're looking at, we see a danger here is the fill-in. In the work document, you basically are highlighting it and clicking the fill-in. So cause with others. So America is no longer the most productive, it's the most entertained. So America is no longer the most productive. So highlight productive. Making sure we highlight just the word and do the fill in. And entertained is the same thing. Highlight entertained and do a fill in. What you're looking at also is you want to go down through the whole process of looking at where it is, waste, conflict with others, pleasures over people. Pleasures, take. So highlight pleasures, fill in, and people. Fill in. Attempts to do wrong. Boredom. Highlight boredom. Make sure you don't clip the period in it and fill in. So this highlight is actually because it's underlined. It's supposed to be a capital there. So there's no okay, destroy my character. So character. Fill in. So you have fascination, preoccupation, and addiction. Fascination. Fill in. Preoccupation. Fill in. And the addiction. Fill in. What you can do also is highlight this pleasure comes in 4 stages and make it bold. Just so it looks. And then you have the destruction phase. How come that's separated down at the bottom? Take this one space out here and highlight destruction and fill in. Then what we have, real purpose. If you notice over here, this is 1, 2, 3, and whichever. So we have 1, real purpose. Fill in. Balanced living, and right now don't worry about the underline with inside the Bible verse. We'll come back to later and take care of that. Balanced living. So this has a period up here. This one doesn't, so I would put a period here just for how readability, but I don't want to include it in the underline. So fill in. Same thing with destructive pleasures. Put a period at the end so it's all similar. And avoid destructive pleasures, so it's a fill in over on this side. Fill in. Dominate me and yours to enjoy. Those are both underlined within Bible verses, so we'll come back and take those later. If you don't plan healthy pleasures, seduce with unhealthy ones. Unhealthy ones, unhealthy is a fill in, and healthy pleasures in your life. Fill in. Then we go down here to addiction. Does not mean failure. It's a sign of courage. Courage. Fill in. Failure. We'll make sure you don't clip the period on these. Fill in. And we are at the bottom. You see here that this 1 Corinthians verse has dominate underlined, and above it 1 Corinthians has yours to enjoy. So we want to underline those. The way that we do that is we find it, or in the actual notes themselves, and find it in the working copy. So it's 1 Corinthians 6:12. So dominate me. So this right here, we want to put the code. So it's this, you, and end it, and then come after dominate, and this to close this off. And if you watch over in the working on the display pane, the preview pane. That citation. Just dominate me here. The other thing is, then what you want to do is come back in and just highlight the word again and do a bold. Dominate me. So yours to enjoy is the next one. So if we look at yours to enjoy, they've got the underline here underneath the period and the double quote. We don't want to do that. We want to keep it just for the words yours to enjoy. We can bold it, and then before it you want to put the underline, and right after it close it. So you got yours to enjoy here and dominate me here as part of the Bible verses. You want to go back up through the rest of the document to see. Here we are in 1 Peter 2nd. You have will give an account of and control by God's will. Here is our 1 Peter. This one will give you an account. Let's see. Will give you an account. So from here, bold it and write you that. And out here is will give you an account. One of the tricks you can do is you can take this. You can take this part of the code that you're going to do and do a Control C, and we want to put that controlled by God's will. So this controlled by God's will, this is the end of it. We can put this here and take this part of it and controlled by God's will. So we see it controlled by God's will, which is the control by God's will here on the actual notes themselves. Real purpose of life. What we're going to do is make sure that all the fill-ins that we've taken care of that are displayed on the working copy here are actually displayed in the preview set. So we're going to do dangers, waste my time, waste my life. America is no longer living in, okay, so productive, entertained. Where the one's here and the one's here and the one is here in the preview pane, it's because the numbered list doesn't work properly. So what you have to do is come back on the other side. And before the one, the numbered list, you have to put a minus in front of it. And a minus in front of this 2, this 3, this 4, this 5, this 1, this 2, this 3. We have a 1, a 2, a 3. Then what you're going to do is highlight all of this and bold it. Back out the arrow. We're going to highlight it from life to the 1 and bold it without the minus. Go back to what we're talking about. So it's my life, bolded. It causes conflict with others, bolded. It tempts me to do wrong, highlight it and bold it. And for it leads to boredom, bolded, and destroy my character, bolded. Purpose of life, enjoy living. And pleasures, bolded. So we look down through here. There's 1, 2, and 3. We look up. I didn't bold the numbers, so you can take this part out of it, X, and put it on the other side of the 1, V. And so now you're getting the numbers bolded also. So it all depends on where you start the snippet code and where you end it. It's all inclusive. Take it out there, Control X, Control V. It's right here. So the 5 is to destroy my character. We're back to it wastes my life, it causes conflict with others, it tempts me to do wrong, it leads to boredom, and it destroys my character. When pleasures take priority over people, So we have destroy character, then we have fascination, preoccupation, addiction, and destruction. How do I stay strong in a culture obsessed with culture? What you can do here, this is centered in red. We want this piece to be bolded. You can't bold it on the preview pane. You have to bold it in the working copy. I always do that. So here's this one. So what we can do is actually set this up and try to do a heading on it. And then we can set the color, we set this to be centered and colored. And the way that we do that is right in front of it. We set up the center discussion. Centered. And then we also want the font color equal red. See how though we haven't closed it all off, so all of this is all red. So the way that we handle this is highlight it, Control C, and put right below it or behind it, somewhere afterward. And we make this turn that off there and turn the font color off. And I can actually take this piece out and say OK. Now because this is a header, it's not centering it because it's a header. If we look at this part up here, here's the centered, and here's the center for this figure that is placed up in this this picture, this image right here is centered because of this center, show the image and the center. So what we're looking to do is it's a header right now, and that's why it's not. Scroll down. So we're seeing this part like this. So what we can do, instead of making it a header, which is like that, so now you can see it over here, it's centered, and it's in the middle. We can make it bold. We also then can also make it, we can borrow the font. Here's font size 2, which is, this is font size 2 down on this size. So if we take this font size code that we have, Control C, and we scroll up and say right here, Control, there's font size 2. Let's make it a font size 5. And then once again we turn off the font, which is this C and V. So now if we look up at the top, what we did up here, this is how we just stay strong. So this is a font size 5. If we make it a 6, okay, because I blew away there we go. So how to stay strong in a pleasure-obsessed culture. This is the code that we're using to get the red. And so if we look back at this side, that's this piece right here. And if we go back at the very top, dangers of making pleasure your goal. So we want to take this code that we have How do I stay strong in a pleasure-obsessed culture? And put it right here, the dangers of making pleasure your goal. So the way we do that is grab the code that we have right here, Control C, and put it right in the head of this one, and come down. Center font piece right here, Control C, and put it beneath it right this way. And so there's this. So you can combine code snippets, the pairs of them, to turn it on and turn it off depending on how you want it to be. So once again, we look down through it again, make sure that our notes equal to the preview. So pleasure comes in 4 stages. It'd be nice to have that bolded a little bit. The reason it's not showing bold over on the preview page is because this extra space we have in right. You can see where my cursor is on the left-hand side. We take this one space out, and it bolds it up. So if you're not seeing on the right-hand side in the preview page what you want to see, you have to go back and look very specifically at your spacing and at your code to make sure you've got it set properly, and it will display what you want to display. There's your life. And we talked about underline with inside a Bible verse. Underline turns it on. The /U turns it off. Healthy pleasures, unhealthy. 1 Corinthians, destructive pleasures. Okay. Now what we want to do is go back up through here and to have some spacing in this where it's all not jammed together. Pretty much what best to do is after each subtotal or sub-item or topic, we can put a notes, which is the black square up top. Select where you want to put it, click the notes. Select where you want to put it, which is 2, and select the notes. Select the notes. And 5, put the note there. And 4, note. 3, note. So what you're seeing on the right-hand side is where the notes get put into, inserted, and this allows people to do their free-form notes if they want to add them to their copy of the notes themselves. And so 2 is notes, and 1 is notes. So you're going to anticipate when Jack is discussing and when he makes a topic. So he may make a topic right here at the dangers of when he's just starting up. So right after Timothy, we can put a note there. Also, you can put a note right after, at the very beginning. So if he makes a statement at the very beginning, somebody wants to take care of a note. They have a freeform note here. So you're interspacing the freeform notes throughout the sermon itself so people can take notes in addition to filling in the notes in the places where we give them to fill them in. So down here at Philippians 3:19, right above Philippians, this citation right here, and fill notes. This allows people to, like I said, add notes to their copy of the notes if they wanted to do it. So we always have one at the very end. See? So we've looked at all of that. What you were looking to do is compare this version to the other version, but they will control by God's will. So that inside the Bible verse, so control by God's will give an account. So control by God's will give an account. That gets you your bolded and underlined. Yours to enjoy, dominate me. You're comparing the Word document of the notes to actually what is going to be prepared in the app itself. So we've addressed the numbered list. So you've got a 1, 2, and 3. We've addressed underlining with inside a Bible verse. We've also addressed the fill-ins, how to center, get color, make fonts larger, bolding, make sure you don't overstep it, and include an extra space, something to give you. Once again, we've got this 5 is not bolded, but this 4 is. So we have to go back and look at why isn't it, and what does it look like on this side. We have 5, so 5 is, okay, so it looks like there's a whole bunch of mess going on here. So take this 5 out and take at least one set of these out, and now we've got it to where it should be. You have a pair to start and a pair to end, a pair of asterisk. This means this is a pair of bold code snippet. So after the 2 here, we can put a piece of code, put a fill in blank here. So now it separates this code before and after, just as if you want to separate out. Just depends on what you feel like needs to be said with respect to the sermon itself. So all that being done, we're happy with this the way it is. It gets saved automatically. This is a fill-in. This is freeform notes, bolded, italicized, a heading, the Bible verse citations. We can insert pictures and additional code information is here. Undo something or redo it the way it was. This is the title. All we need to do is look to schedule it. So this is for September the 8th. We already have one scheduled right now that's coming up for the 1st of September. We need to send this out for people to look at and review. It can sit out there now. It's been our working model. We haven't published it, so it's not going to take precedence. Subsplash Notes take precedence of whatever's published in the latest version, and that's what you see on the app. So we have one published right now that's going to come out for September the 1st. This is Friday the 30th right now. So what we want to do is you click on Schedule. We want to schedule it September the 8th. So this one. But we wanted to run that for that Sunday, right? So we want to have it really published before then so people can read it and see it. So we'll back it up and publish it on the 5th. And we can publish it at 1 o'clock in the morning if we want to. Now it's scheduled to be published at 1 o'clock in the morning on the 5th. You can preview it and see what it looks like right now, or we can share this code with folks. So here's this that people can go look at after 1 a.m. on the 5th of September. Can copy all this and we can set this to an email and email it out to folks. And that's what we want to do. Then they can click this link. The document must be published to be viewable. So it won't be published till after 1 a.m. on September the 5th. So we can send an email out and say, please go take a look at it using this link, and we'll go from there. But that's how we prepare the notes. Good luck. And may God bless you and the work effort you put forth each and every day for His name's sake.